Many actors rise to fame overnight thanks to a single breakout role in a successful film, suddenly earning tens of millions for each performance. Some manage to stay at the top for years, while others, like Vince Vaughn, lose their footing just as quickly. Vince Vaughn's career didn't start with a bang, but by the late 2000s he'd become one of Hollywood's highest-paid actors. However, once he reached the heights where only eagles soar, he couldn't hold on. In just a few short years, Vaughn went from earning $20 million per role to appearing in forgettable, low-profile films on streaming platforms. Today, let's take a closer look at this intriguing actor, whose popularity faded almost as fast as it arrived, partly due to his changing image and weight gain. Vaughn's breakthrough came with Swingers. Made for only $200,000, the film grossed $4 million in the US and received numerous festival nominations. Alongside Vaughn starred Jon Favreau, who also wrote the screenplay. According to Favreau, the story was loosely based on their real-life friendship. Years later, Favreau would direct Iron Man and Cowboys and Aliens before becoming one of Disney's go-to directors with The Jungle Book, The Lion King, The Mandalorian, and more. Swingers also launched the career of its director, Doug Liman. At the time, Liman was an unknown filmmaker pitching Favreau's script around Hollywood. While several studios were willing to fund it, none wanted Vaughn or Favreau in the leads. Determined to keep them on board, Liman eventually secured $200,000 to make the film independently. It paid off. Swingers became a career-defining hit for everyone involved. Liman went on to direct Go, The Bourne Identity, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and The Edge of Tomorrow. Although Swingers wasn't widely recognized abroad, it became a cult classic in the US. It also caught the attention of Steven Spielberg, who cast Vaughn in The Lost World: Jurassic Park. The film was a box office hit, and Vaughn finally became a familiar face in Hollywood. However, luck wasn't always on his side. When Vaughn took a leading role, the films often flopped. Projects like Return to Paradise gained modest attention, but struggled commercially. When he took supporting roles in more promising films, they sometimes did even worse. The Psycho remake earned a few Golden Raspberry nominations, though Vaughn was spared, and The Cell, despite its striking visuals, underperformed at the box office. The 2001 thriller Domestic Disturbance became infamous not for its story, but for an offset bar fight involving Vaughn, Steve Buscemi, and the film's producer. Vaughn had reportedly flirted with a local woman, sparking a confrontation that led to injuries. The incident didn't help the film, which also bombed at the box office. John Travolta, the film's star, even earned a Razzie nomination for Worst Actor. After that, Vaughn's career could easily have faded away, until Old School arrived. The 2003 comedy, directed by Todd Phillips, showcased Vaughn's natural comedic timing. Made for $24 million, it grossed $87 million and launched the frat pack era alongside Will Ferrell and Luke Wilson. Still, Vaughn wasn't quite considered a bankable star. He was originally set to play one of the leads in Starsky and Hutch, but the studio refused to spend $60 million on a film starring him. Phillips gave him a smaller role instead, which turned out to be a blessing in disguise. Ben Stiller, who starred in Starsky and Hutch, later invited Vaughn to join Dodgeball, a true underdog story. Stiller even reduced his own salary to help get the movie made. While Starsky and Hutch made $170 million on a $60 million budget, Dodgeball was a true hit, earning $160 million on just $20 million. Then came 2005, Vaughn's defining year. He appeared in 3 major films, a small role in Doug Liman's Mr. and Mrs. Smith, the ensemble comedy Be Cool, a sequel to Get Shorty, and the runaway hit Wedding Crashers. The last one changed everything. Like many surprise blockbusters, Wedding Crashers wasn't expected to succeed. Will Ferrell had turned down the lead role and Owen Wilson replaced him. It's hard to imagine the film any other way now, though Ferrell still made a cameo, expanded slightly out of friendship for Vaughn. The movie's success catapulted Vaughn to the top of Hollywood's A-list. The studio was so worried about potential backlash that the producers had to drop many ideas from the original script. Even after filming, several scenes were cut during post-production. For instance, Vince Vaughn's character was originally supposed to seduce women by showing off a Purple Heart medal. When that detail appeared in the movie's promotional materials, however, the US Congress demanded that it be removed immediately. This incident perfectly illustrates why the comedy genre is all but dead today. In the past, such scenes might have faced mild censorship, but modern restrictions have tied filmmakers' hands completely. It would be nearly impossible to make something like Wedding Crashers now. With a $40 million budget, the film grossed $285 million worldwide. Its success instantly turned Vince Vaughn into a superstar. His next project, The Breakup, earned him $12 million, more than co-star Jennifer Aniston's $8 million paycheck. Around that time, Vaughn began gaining weight. He later explained that he had planned to put on some pounds for the role, but the situation got out of control after he quit smoking. Although The Breakup received mixed reviews, it performed well commercially. Vaughn's earnings continued to climb, and for Fred Claus he demanded $20 million. Unfortunately, that movie became his first major flop. With a $100 million budget, it barely recouped $97 million worldwide. Still, one big failure wasn't enough to end his career. His next two comedies, Couples Retreat and Four Christmases, brought him $15 million each. Neither was a runaway success, but home video sales and television rights likely made them profitable enough to keep studios interested. Then came Ron Howard's The Dilemma in 2011, for which Vaughn earned $17.5 million. By then, censorship and social media outrage were becoming major forces in Hollywood, and The Dilemma became an early casualty. Its trailer featured a joke comparing gay people to electric cars, which sparked immediate backlash. The studio removed the line from all promotional materials and nearly from the film itself. Howard refused, explaining that while he understood the controversy, he opposed censorship in art on principle. Still, the scandal wasn't the film's only problem. Despite its $70 million budget and star-studded cast, The Dilemma was released opposite the $25 million comedy No Strings Attached. Ironically, it was the low-budget Kutcher-Portman movie that crushed it, grossing $149 million while The Dilemma barely reached $69 million. After that, Vaughn's box office streak collapsed. Hoping to recapture past magic, he reunited with old co-stars, but the results were disastrous. His sci-fi comedy The Watch, made with Ben Stiller, bombed. The $70 million The Internship, a reunion with Owen Wilson, also failed. Then came Delivery Man, $26 million budget, and Unfinished Business, $35 million. Both commercial disappointments. Seeing his decline, Vaughn turned to television, joining the second season of True Detective in 2015. Many expected the show to revive his career just as it had seemingly done for Matthew McConaughey. But that comparison was flawed. McConaughey was already on an upswing thanks to The Lincoln Lawyer, Magic Mike, Mud, Dallas Buyers Club, and Interstellar. True Detective simply crowned a streak of successes, it didn't create it. Vaughn and co-star Colin Farrell, on the other hand, hoped that one hit show would save them. It didn't. Season 2 received weaker reviews and lower ratings, and Vaughn's momentum vanished. He began appearing in films that bypassed theaters altogether, many averaging only 4 or 5 out of 10 from critics. Term Life, where he played the lead, was delayed and quietly released straight to video a year later. Occasionally, he landed solid supporting roles, as in Hacksaw Ridge, or earned praise in gritty indie films like Brawl in Cell Block 99 and Dragged Across Concrete. Though they didn't reach wide audiences, both were well received. Unfortunately, most of his recent projects like Arkansas and The Binge have gone straight to streaming and earned dismal ratings. Perhaps if Vaughn hadn't demanded such enormous salaries in the late 2000s, his career might have taken a different path. Or maybe he should have accepted smaller projects for less money. At the end of that decade, he was offered a sequel to Old School, but both he and Will Ferrell felt they'd outgrown that kind of comedy. Today, Vaughn would probably pay to join a project like that. Now, few offers come his way. In the end, Vince Vaughn became yet another actor who, after reaching the top, indulged too much and slid down just as quickly. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned.